Max Keiser's in here having some Texas barbecue, doing a great job, and he's telling amazing stories that are off the record. And most of them he won't let me have him talk about, but you did just talk about after you left the top secret party, you went across the street to the center where Hillary was going to break through something, and everybody was very upset. Well, I mean, repeat that story.
Yeah, well, so we were hanging out at the AP on the west side, because that's who we do our show with, the Associated Press. And everyone's waiting for the election to be called, even though it looked like, Hillary was definitely losing. So we went over to the Jacob Javits Center to shoot our show, and the Jacob Javits Center is this glass structure. And it was all set up that she would be announced the winner, and these fireworks would go off, and she'd be breaking the glass ceiling. And so we show up there, and people are streaming out like it's the third period of a Ranger game, and the Rangers are losing, by 4 goals, and people want to get to their cars, and to avoid traffic. So it's just like streaming out of the Jacob Javits.
Rush to the exits,
and the cops are like, yeah, come on in, and there's no security anymore. And so this fall from grace in the space of 3.5 hours is absolutely, and we made the comment.
Did you see any crying that night?
It was like a Gaddafi getting, raped on the hood of the car with a stick. I mean, that was how brutal, and metaphorically speaking, Hillary's comeuppance happened that night. She started off as this dictator to be. She ended the night, bleeding out of every orifice possible on the street, politically speaking. The mob had basically had their way with her, and she's been effectively dead ever since, politically.
And the Democrats now say that they think nothing's broken. They're going ahead. Pelosi and Harry Reid, they just say everything's going on swell, swimmingly.
I think they're in big trouble. And you know what? We are the only ones that noted that the Jacob Javits Center, maybe for people outside of New York, it's quite a beautiful building with all the glass, and she wanted to break the glass ceiling. But it's a symbol of corruption. And so we were surprised that she chose that, one of the 5 crime families was involved in organizing that and ripping off everybody, the contractors, the union workers, the government, everybody. So
it's a famous boondoggle.
It's a famous boondoggle about corruption.
Well, it's a mob. Before Giuliani showed up in New York to clean up the mob, projects like the Javits Center was huge mob contract business. They own the Fishport, the Fulton Street.
What about her collapsing on 9/11 when her and Clinton basically worked to help along the Bushes to protect the bin Ladens and others before and then after the attacks? And then she also stood down on the Benghazi thing, also 9/11. What'd you make of her, First Stacey, collapsing on 9/11?
I thought there was something really wrong with her for sure, because my mother had been sick and died the year before. And she did that right before she died. She did something like that. She had to be lifted like that. And I thought, when I saw that, it reminded me instantly of last year when my mom did that. So it gave me shivers that I thought there was something really wrong with her health-wise, because it didn't seem like dehydration to me.
They don't seem to really understand the optics of the modern meme war.
Yeah.
And so when that meme, we saw she's dead, which is war crimes.
Oh, by the way, that her falling on 9/11 is quite interesting in terms of this fake news thing, because there's an article, the Washington Post wrote a piece where they said that's Russian propaganda is the one that pushed her falling.
Sure.
Sick. But Google it. Hillary Clinton falls 9/11. Of the top 5, 3 of them are Washington Post articles in the Google search.
Oh, I know.
They're the ones that pushed it.
No, I mean, sure. But plus, the TV would lie and go, she only slipped and didn't fall. They would cut before she collapsed.
Yeah.
That's why MSM's dying. It was watched 50 million times in a day online. Literally, our copies of it were watched like 10 million times in 2 days. That's bigger than their viewers, and they're just saying, oh, she didn't fall, it's a hoax. Look, here's the video, she just stumbled.
Well, you also look back at 2008, and there were many articles questioning whether or not McCain was healthy enough to run. And by all of these very same organizations and news outlets that condemned anybody who questioned Hillary's health. And they said it was sexist to question her health. And yet, if you look back to 2008, they were questioning about John McCain, whether or not he was fit to run for president.
Just a side thing. I noticed Keiser, you must have been here earlier.
Yeah.
You wrote Needs More Keiser. I've been trying to get you on for 4 months since you last came on.
Yeah.
I've come into Nico Acosta, our great head producer, literally 15 times or more and said, where the hell is Keiser? Until like you appear in a puff of smoke here today.
Yeah, well, I got this. Nico put up the Max signal, and I responded. You know, Nico is the main man.
Okay, well, you can come on whenever you want. So
Yeah, no, actually, you know, for a month there, we were trying to get Kim.com on, and I was trying to get that whole thing going.
Listen, I didn't know. One day they finally had him, and then I had sick kids, so I had to stay home. And then they got him online. He goes, well, I want to talk to Alex. David Knight's a great guy. You love him.
Yeah.
He wouldn't do it. So I want to tell Kim, it wasn't on purpose, Kim.
Yeah.
Come on my show and come on Max's show.
Yeah, so, you know,
Why wouldn't he come on our shows? It's perfect shows.
I have no idea. I mean, he's got so much going on there in New Zealand. So many balls up in the air.
He needs to get his story out onto our platforms. That's a no-brainer.
That's what I keep telling him. So hopefully he'll see the
DoIt.com. Do it.
Yeah, do it.
I know you guys are awesome.
I want to go to New Zealand and do like we did at the Kremlin. Remember the Kremlin? We live streamed.
That was awesome.
From Red Square into InfoWars.
You go and interview Kim right there on his front, in his balcony.
Yeah, we'll just go there and live stream it. We'll interview it live for InfoWars. That's the way to do it. I mean, I'd like to come on when I got something like that Red Square. Or
Hey, I'll pay for some of the plane tickets if you go do it.
Just to come
That
on.
was badass in Red Square.
Yeah, just to come on and chat. You know,
It's awesome. I
like
was doing camera.
Yeah, I like to come on and do something special.
Well, listen, I know you got a lot of stuff going on, so I'm flattered you're here. And Max, you're a great guy, MaxKeiser.com. Tell us, Ms. Herbert, what's the best on Twitter and Facebook and all that?
The best way to contact us on Twitter is Stacy Herbert.
And look right here. She runs the show, so she's the producer. By the way, folks, look how we like barbarians and truly ride horses to work.
Yeah.
We don't even have plates. We just eat out of a bucket here.
My hands are all dirty.
Oh, you did a great job.
Texas style.
More Keiser. All right, thank you, buddy, for coming to town.
More onions.
Our fellow info warriors across the United States and across the planet really love the Hillary for Prison 2016 shirts that we began to put out in 2015. It became a global meme against globalism and corruption, and a very strong maxim that's now being continued on today. So we now have George Soros, because the media attacked me on this whole goblin meme, and they've made huge jokes about it, but it's totally blown up in their face. We now have George Soros as a goblin on the back, and it says, with a cross through him, an X like Ghostbusters, no Soros, him as a goblin. It says deport Soros on the bottom, and on the top it says InfoWars established 1996. So it is a limited edition, deport Soros on the back, Hillary for Prison on the front, right-hand shoulder, InfoWars.com. It's powerful. Hope you get out to everybody you know. InfoWarsStore.com or call 888-253-3139.